The Book of Boba Fett, Episode 4, The Gathering Storm. We kick off this episode with a major flashback. Almost half of the episode is a flashback. And I have thoroughly enjoyed these flashbacks. I think they might be coming to an end because the timeline of the flashbacks kind of now butts up with the timeline of The Mandalorian and the timeline of almost present day Book of Boba Fett. So I don't know if the flashbacks are coming to an end, but I have thoroughly enjoyed seeing Boba Fett in the kind of intermediate stage between Return of the Jedi escaping the Sarlacc pit and present day Book of Boba Fett. I think it's been my favorite stuff in the show so far. We're going to discuss all of that and more, but first, a word from this video's sponsor. Thank you to Disney Emoji Blitz for sponsoring today's video. If you want to have some fun and support this YouTube channel while doing it, click the link in the video description below on your mobile device or tablet to download the game. That link acts as a creator code. Disney Emoji Blitz is unlike any other match 3 game on the market. Each emoji has its own unique power-up, and you control what to use, offering a strong layer of strategy to each game you play. My favorite emoji is Mando! Disney, Pixar, Star Wars emojis, there are new characters added every week and month. There are a ton of different emojis with different categories: heroes, villains, silver, gold, rainbow, exclusive, collections. One of my favorite little features is that as you earn emojis in the game, you can send those emojis to your friends, your family. There are Star Wars events in the game periodically. They recently just had a Mandalorian event in honor of the release of the Book of Boba Fett. Past Star Wars events included emojis such as the Child, Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, R2, C-3PO, Anakin, Rey, Kylo, and much, much more. Again, click the link below to download the game. Like I said, the link acts as a creator code. Use the link, support the channel, and also whatever you spend in the game will also support the HelloGreedo YouTube channel. Win-win. Fun. Later on in this video, I'll kind of talk about broad strokes of what I think of the show so far. But just to lay it out there right now before I get into specific moments, the show is just okay to me. It's just okay. Kind of underwhelmed by a lot of it. I like a lot of the character progress of Boba Fett. I like hearing him talk about, you know, you can only get so far without a tribe. Living with the Tuskens made him strong. I enjoy hearing about him caring for his fellow bounty hunters. He's tired of his kind dying because of the idiocy of others. I like that stuff, but overall the show is just kind of underwhelming to me. I don't like it nearly as much as The Mandalorian. And again, you know, we've only had 4 episodes, so it's kind of hard to judge broad picture of the show when you still have 3 episodes, I believe, left. It would be kind of like judging, I don't know, The Sopranos or Seinfeld after you see a couple episodes. You know what I mean? But yeah, right now it's just okay. So yeah, anyway. Let's get into specifics. So much of this episode was the teaming up of Fennec and Boba Fett. We see the moment that Fett finds Fennec in the desert. Was that from the end of episode 1, season 1 of The Mandalorian, where you hear the Spurs walking? And I was like, there's no way that's Boba Fett. That'd be kind of dumb. But it was Boba Fett. I think that's what it was from. And Boba Fett finds Fennec and brings her to a mod parlor. Now, I know a lot of people have been kind of poo-pooing these cyberpunk kids or whatever the hell you want to call them, but I kind of dig it, man. This culture of modified kids, it's very like tattoo culture in the Star Wars universe. Yeah, it's a little goofy. Yeah, it's the acting of some of this is very wonky. But overall, as an idea, these kids with, you know, various upgrades, various attachments, various augmentations, going into a mod parlor, I really like this as a concept. And it's kind of fun to see like this subculture of the underworld on Tatooine, of the youth. It's kind of something that we've never really seen before. I dig it. So Fennec wakes up. Fett basically fixes her at this mod parlor, tells her that he wants her ship back. It's at Jabba's palace. There's a little heist to get Slave One back, to steal it back from Jabba's palace. There's a cool little drone technology that Fennec has that kind of surveys the entrance of Jabba's palace. I dig that kind of stuff. I like it. But what I like the most out of this entire flashback, you know, it wasn't the heist sequence. It wasn't the Sarlacc pit sequence, as fun as that was. I like the conversations that Fett and Fennec have here in these flashbacks. Boba Fett says he's tired of working for idiots who are gonna get him killed. He was ready to leave bounty hunting behind. And he says, I'm tired of our kind dying because of the idiocy of others. He talks about like needless death basically. And at first I'm like, all those victims of his bounty hunting. He's kind of coming to terms with, the people that he's killed or imprisoned. But no, it's not that. He says, I'm tired of our kind dying because of the idiocy of others. He's not concerned about the victims of his bounty hunting. He's worried about his people being hired by idiots, getting put in unnecessary situations. I really like this. He feels for his people. I'm a fan of real world parallels. You could pull from past military conflicts that my nation, the United States of America, has been a part of. Needlessly putting millions in danger. Needless suffering. I'm tired of our kind dying because of the idiocy of others, is what he said. I liked seeing this side of Boba Fett because I think a lot of people, even Fennec says it. Fennec says living with the Tuskens has made you soft, and he says, no, it's made me strong. You can only get so far without a tribe. A lot of people on the outside as fans have been kind of saying like, oh, Boba Fett, what does he care about animals now? He's soft. No, it's made him strong. You can only get so far without a tribe. Anyway, the heist inside of Jabba's palace to get Slave One back was okay. Just kind of a run-of-the-mill, going into a place, firing away. It was all right. Compared to like the heist in The Mandalorian with the Mayfeld character played by Bill Burr, when they go into that Imperial base. I mean, comparing those two heists, they're not even comparable. But anyway, I really enjoyed the Sarlacc pit sequence. Like I guess Boba Fett doesn't remember the Jawas taking his armor. He was pretty out of it at that moment. But and despite not being a fan of the special edition beak, I thought this scene was fantastically tense. I guess they assumed that Sarlacc was dead. I assumed that too when we first saw it in previous episodes, but it's not dead. And Boba and Fennec are kind of peering into the mouth of Slave One, and then the beak comes out and Tentacle grabs Slave One. It's just a really tense, it's one of the most tense moments in the entire show so far, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was great. We see remnants of Jabba's barge. There's a seismic charge that goes into the Sarlacc pit that Fennec releases, ultimately killing the Sarlacc pit. I thought it was a really great tense sequence. So yeah, pretty much all of this episode was about putting together a crew, was about loyalty. Boba Fett talks to Black K at the casino after Black K rips off an arm, and we hear a little bit of history of Black K. I'm sure this was explained in maybe the Dr. Aphra comics. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe this is the first time we're hearing of it, but he was a gladiator, which was alluded to in a previous episode. He spent years in the pit. People used to cheer his name. It was an interesting little backstory. I liked learning more about this character that I'm not familiar with at all. In fact, the first time that I ever even heard of Black K or even saw this character was in this show. I've never read the Dr. Aphra comics before, so. Now, if the flashbacks are truly done, which I kind of hope they are, as much as I enjoyed them, I think the show can find a more solid footing for itself right now. We see Boba Fett kind of putting together this crew. He gets the heads of all the families together to discuss business and to discuss an alliance. Boba Fett wants to purge Tatooine of the Pikes because they are bleeding Tatooine dry of its wealth, and they're, injecting spice across the planet, I guess. He says, why do we speak of conflict when cooperation can make us all rich? He wants them to all align and fight against the Pikes, but he's dealing with schemers. He's dealing with people who don't necessarily have loyalty as one of their virtues. They're selfish. They're looking out for their own best interests. It doesn't matter who's at the top of the pile on the throne. They don't necessarily care as long as the money keeps coming to them. So that's why they're pretending to play neutral, at least, but I think they will play neutral because then they can just step back, and whoever wins in this war and this conflict, they can just step back and say, hey, I wasn't involved in this. I'm innocent in all of this. They're not a loyal crew. They're not loyal people. They're in it for the money. So they'll take a step back, and when the dust settles, they'll go shake a hand. I like that. I like that. I like that not everybody is like rallying behind Boba Fett just because he's Boba Fett or just because they don't like the Pikes. The Pikes are potentially making them rich, so why would they care, right? As one of the, I think it was a Trandoshan says, you know, spice brings a lot of credits to their pockets or something like that. So yeah, why would they care about this? They're making money and that's all they care about. So overall, this episode was okay. Just like the show, man. Just like the show. The episode was okay. Nothing has really jumped off the screen and been incredible to me. It's all been just kind of fine. Just kind of okay. The second episode, in my opinion, was by far the best. I do enjoy some of the humor in it. I do enjoy that there's a light-hearted side to it. But I find that often tonally, it's all over the place. Yeah, the show is just okay. It's just okay. I'm kind of underwhelmed most of the time that I'm watching the show, with little bits and pieces that I thoroughly enjoy. Like, you can probably tell in my videos that I pick up on little things that I really enjoy, but overall, like, big picture of the show, it's okay. Like, I talked about Boba Fett not wanting his kind to die anymore because of the idiocy of others, because, you know, being hired to complete these kind of unnecessary jobs. I find that an interesting turn for the character, and I could talk about that for a long time. But I'm not going to talk about, like, the heist in Jabba's palace, because that wasn't that great, you know what I mean? It's the little things that I find interesting. The little injection of character study here, where we kind of get into the head of Boba Fett a little bit more and learn about the character and where he's at as a person today. You know, I find that interesting. You know, living with the Tuskens has made you soft. No, it's made me strong. That's interesting. So where does the show go from here? I guess they're preparing for war. Honestly, I don't know if I'm going to end up liking the show any more than I already do. I would give it maybe like a C+, B- right now. I'm not one to give things ratings because it changes all the time. And also, it's kind of hard to judge a show after 4 episodes when, you know, you have 3 more. It would be like sitting back and just judging all of The Sopranos or Seinfeld off of the first 2 or 3 episodes. You know, you can't really do that. You got to let it play out before you give a broad picture. But as of right now, just kind of underwhelmed, and it's just okay. All right, let me know what you think. I just rambled on for how many minutes? I don't know, 12 minutes, something like that. I need to get more concise with these videos, huh? Anyway, have a good one, guys. I'll see you next Wednesday.